We are live. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Give me 1 second while I make sure my settings are good. Alright, that is good. Audio's good. Perfect. Alright. Welcome. As always, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch the show. Today we're going to be covering the Sebastian Rogers case. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I am Chris with Monsters Under Our Bed. We cover true crime, mystery to the missing. Before we get started, we always like to get back by featuring missing people along with covering the missing. But I always like to cover big cases. And, you know, there's so many missing people out there. So what I like to do at the beginning of the show is just feature a random missing person that just had recently gone missing. I do take requests. If you have like a family member or a friend or know somebody that went missing recently, you can email me and I'd be more than happy to feature them in upcoming live. So real quick before we get into Sebastian Rogers, because we got a lot to go over and break down, today's missing person is, and I hope I pronounce her name right, it's Wilmaris Cabrera, who is 17 years old, 5'4", 113 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. She was last seen wearing a tan sweatpants and a black t-shirt, missing out of York County, Pennsylvania. She was last seen in the area of West Market Street. She went missing 2 days ago, December 10th, at approximately 8 p.m. In the notes, it says, police believe she may be at special risk of harm or injury. If you have any information, you can call 911 or the local PD, which is 717-854-1975. Once again, Cabrera, missing out of York County, Pennsylvania, just 17 years old. All right. If you can, please hit that like button. It helps this channel out and get the awareness out for the missing. And, of course, Sebastian Rogers case, who so many are invested in, praying for, a happy, safe return. But this is such an odd case, and it has been kind of divided, throughout the months. It seems like there's kind of like two groups, sadly. But anyway, I'm Team Sebastian, and if you'd like, please put hashtags Team Sebastian, because we are all here to hopefully get answers. And, as the public, there are ways that we can help. And it seems like this Dog the Bounty Hunter, which is in association with At Night, they have been getting surveillance footage recently from the Texas Roadhouse, which is one of the last places, basically, that Sebastian Rogers was seen in public just the night before he went missing. So we're going to break that down. Of course, I speak to locals, spoken to them actually quite a lot recently. And so I'm glad to get back in on this case. And again, thank you guys so much for the warm wishes. Real quick, Leslie and Billy. Hey, Chris, hope you're well. Neighbor down the road. Thank you so much. God bless you. Happy holidays. I appreciate the support. And mods, if you can, just let me know if I need to slow the chat down. So let's get right into it, guys. So much to break down. So I'm sure 99% of you guys know this case, but I've got just a 1-minute clip to break down his disappearance for anybody that may be new to the case. So I'll quickly play that, and then we'll get into all the latest stuff. So let's quickly do that real quick.
Hi guys, this morning they woke up and their 15-year-old girl was not in the bed. We are right now 3 blonde hair back my bed, but we're going to turn down. I was going to be wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants. Two members have a kind of autism. It's the first time it happened. I was going to be in the home before midnight. All the doors are locked at this time.
Sebastian Rogers is a 15-year-old autistic teenager who lives in Hendersonville, Tennessee. He was last seen Sunday night on February 25th by his mother, Katie Proudfoot. The next morning, on the 26th, his mother went to wake Rogers up and get him ready for school, but Rogers was nowhere to be seen. Sebastian Rogers was allegedly wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants, his glasses, and his keychain flashlight. They also claimed that all of his shoes were accounted for, which means he is most likely barefoot. His case has garnered a lot of media attention, which has helped get his tragic story out to the masses. There has been numerous searches for Sebastian Rogers, including a landfill search in the beginning, to groundwater and air searches.
To censor myself, holy freaking crap, this can't be happening, where is my kid? Choice words were used. Like, you know, where the F is he, you know. I had looked through the house for him, because it was typical for him to get up and come and rummage for snacks and things like that, and he likes to dip behind the, you know, walls and watch, you know, and then he comes out after I come back and he likes to scare me. But after I looked, and I mean, mind you, all of this took place in like 1 minute flat, but I didn't see him in his room. I looked all over. I ran through the whole house. I looked out all the doors and windows, and I was like hollering his name, and I picked up the phone and I called my husband, and I said, I can't find him. And he said, what do you mean? I said, he's not in this effing house. I can't find our son. And I jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood, and I drove over by the school, and he's already, like, at this point I was like hysterical, and I was crying, I was screaming, and he was like, three-wayed. He three-wayed law enforcement, and was telling them, like, our son is missing and we don't know what's going on, and he was like, go back to the house, they're on their way. And I drove back to the house. And,
Okay, so let's, I was trying to time that just right, but I timed that pretty good. All right. So if you guys don't know, well, I'm sure probably a lot of you guys do, looking at the chat here. This was actually just posted a couple hours ago. This is At Night, who is obviously in association with Dog the Bounty Hunter. They just posted this, again, like I said, just about 6 hours ago, roughly. So it says, Dog the Bounty Hunter announced significant update, and he just did, actually, and we'll look at that here in a minute, and then we'll get into the footage. I've got tons of stuff to break down for you guys. But it says, Dog the Bounty Hunter to announce significant update in the search for the missing Tennessee teenager Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, December 12th, which is today. Dog the Bounty Hunter, in collaboration with At Night, is poised to deliver a pivotal update regarding the search for the 16-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, following the transmission of critical findings to Tennessee authorities, which, again, is really exciting news. Development marks a significant moment in the ongoing investigation. All relevant parties are committed to ensuring transparency, believing that the public deserves a thorough understanding of the ongoing search efforts. I couldn't agree more. The update... Sorry, guys. The update will clarify the progress made and outline what information should be broadly shared to advance the search, rather than hinder it. This action emphasizes a collective commitment to raising public awareness and soliciting assistance in the pursuit of Sebastian's safe return. So that's exciting news. Quickly, let me just shout out some of my members here. Christina Clark, member for 3 months. Thank you so much. Memberships, if you would like to support this channel, there are plenty of ways to do so down in the description and in the chat. But God bless you guys. Fly Girl says, Chris, so much love, my friend. Thank you so much, Fly Girl, member for 7 months. Appreciate it. You guys are legends. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get into... I'm going to play this real quick while I find his... literally a statement that he put out kind of when I was about an hour ago, I think, when I was working on my video, because I'm going to break down quite a bit of the video and then explain what I can share from my connections
Missing.
here.
Yeah. Sunday morning, I'll just start at the morning. Sunday morning, we got up.
So why I find this real quick, I'm just going to play, while the Texas Roadhouse footage is playing, I'm sure probably most of you have seen this. I'm going to play this. This is Katie explaining that day, Sunday, February 25th. So I'm going to play that real quick while I snag Dog the Bounty Hunter's statement.
And I made a fun breakfast for us. Spaghetti pancakes.
Google it, y'all.
y'all. We FaceTime family while we were eating so he could brag, because that's something he likes to do. And we were laughing and joking on FaceTime and having a good time with that. After breakfast, we got a call to go pick up our niece and go take her to meet up. So we did that. We went and picked her up, and we met her mom at BJ's, and we were there with family members. We come home and put our groceries away, and then a little bit later we went to.
So I'm going to pause that real quick. Here is the statement that was literally posted. Trying to look at the time. But this was posted after that. Dog Nation, great conversation with authorities in Tennessee. Big news soon as we hunt for those who are hiding for Sebastian Rogers. Yeehaw. So that was posted not too long ago, which is very exciting. So I'm going to play this for a minute.
The bowling alley, a local bowling alley here, and we played
All right, and it
games.
stinks, yeah.
And then and this is just Bubba and I, and we went to dinner, just the two of us, and then come home.
Yeah.
He took the trash out because that's his chore, and he come in and he was playing in his room until bedtime. And at bedtime, I told him, I said, "Hey, Bubba, it's time to go to bed." And he goes, "Okay, good night, Mama, I love you." And then he said good night to his puppies, and he went to bed.
Okay, and walk me through.
So here is them leaving the Texas Roadhouse, and I'm showing the direction they would have left. Because we're going to be kind of circling back to this with the footage. And at the end, towards the end of the live, I've got some interesting stuff to show you. Again, right now it's all speculation, but it's good to get, a bunch of people in here. Maybe you guys see something I miss. That's why you have that, you get surveillance, just like how they caught, the CEO shooter. It was getting his photo out there, surveillance footage, and, the public helping. And I think this could be the same situation in this case, that there could be someone that possibly followed them home. That is kind of one possibility that may have happened, and we'll get to that. Let's see. Sounds like she's reading a script. Yeah, I don't know, because it changed, as that was literally her first interview before she went on the news, which is weird. Is they did an interview with kind of, not to downgrade the channel, which was Dutch's, shout out to them for getting, to do that interview, but, they're not a big channel or anything. But it's just weird that they would go do that, not be on national news, which is weird. They would, of course, then eventually do that. So 26, he goes missing. I just want to go over this for a minute, and then we're going to definitely break down the footage and everything. But I just want to make a point here for some stuff that I've experienced that just raises red flags when it comes to this case. So then February 27th, an Amber Alert goes out. Of course, they are searching, with dogs, drones, obviously on land and in water. And so those first few days, they were out there covering so much ground. And 29th, because of the dogs, got that hit by the retention pond. They went and drained that. They didn't find anything. Then we moved to Saturday, March 2nd. It's when they first put out a little reward, which was $3,000. Then that kind of got raised, $3,500. And then, of course, we know now that's much higher. Then Monday, March 4th. So that's about 2 weeks. No, it's about a week and a half. They scaled the search back, and then the parents start doing the interviews, actual interviews. And although that they scaled the search back, Craddock, the sheriff, says that they're still obviously investigating, but now instead of searching, he tells them that they're kind of going into the investigation side of things, which I think is very interesting. Then on Thursday, March 7th, they checked the landfill in Kentucky. I believe that was all because of allegedly when the garbage man came by, the garbage was a little bit heavier than usual because they actually go out and wheel the garbage cans to the garbage truck, and so they thought maybe a body could have been placed in there. Then Sunday, March 10th, Seth reveals fear for Sebastian. He goes and does an interview. He tells a very interesting story about the fire ants, and I wanted to read this quote because it's very interesting. He decided he wanted to step into a mound of what he thought was dirt. It was fire ants. And since then, he does not like to go to get his feet in the dirt. He likes to have his shoes and socks on. I think this is, a very important note, considering he allegedly or possibly ran off without any shoes, which, in my opinion, I don't think that's the scenario that happened. Luna, from what I heard from my connections, that ledge audio, again, I don't know 100%, but from what I heard from my sources, they said that is fake. Because I have heard that, Luna. And, there's supposedly some conversation going on. To me, at least from what I've heard, and the sources that I have, they've been straight shooter to me, and everything they've told me has come true. So I think, in my opinion, I don't think that audio is real. Thursday, March 14th, video shows activity outside the home. Home security video obtained by WTVF. 2 specks of light outside the family's home in the Hendersonville neighborhood around 3:10 a.m. in the middle of the night. Of course, that's the lights that I broke down a bunch of times on this channel. I've, tried to take it as far as I could. There's possibly more I could maybe do, but I've really tried to do everything with those lights. But the one thing I can tell you, those lights are not garbage truck lights. We know those lights are pointing in a certain direction, not in the neighborhood above. And those lights are traveling in between the yards at some time between 3 and 4. And interestingly enough, that's when, Sebastian went missing. Is it a coincidence? In my opinion, no. So we're going to get to the footage here in just a second. I just kind of wanted to recap everything because it's been a minute since I've covered this. We've almost got almost 800 people in here. Thank you guys so much coming in here, showing the support. Then this is where things really red flags start to really show. March 23rd, United Cajun Navy. Now they were working on, because around the time that Sebastian went missing was Riley Strain, and which is such a a sad case because he ended up in the river. Was foul play involved? We don't know. Was it just too many drinks, or something placed in his drink? But so they were working on that case, and that's in Tennessee as well. And so they just got done finishing that, and they hear about, there's this autistic boy that's missing. They're already out there, they figured we could go out and help. And so they go out there, and then shortly after they get there and start searching, they end up getting death threats, which I have never heard of. Not to say that hasn't happened before, but, it's kind of one or two things, in my opinion. Either the locals are really terrible and don't want, outsiders in, but from the locals that I've spoken to, amazing people in Gallatin. I don't know why they would be threatening, these guys, especially after all the hard work they did with Riley Strain, going out there. And to me, that's just major red flags. No, it was the real Cajun Navy. That was just some propaganda, in my opinion. That was the real United Cajun Navy. They were out there. There was an interview that they did, and yeah, it was nasty. The stuff that they got. It was terrible. Then March 25th, the infamous interview on Nancy Grace. Miss Proudfoot says she's convinced someone must have her son. And then, of course, all the weird things that, that went on with that interview, of course.
We've had a fight on our hands.
Many people have broken that down. So, one more thing before we get into the videos. And like I said, I've broken down this, the Texas Roadhouse and these vehicles and the green hoodie guy. And we'll kind of talk about them, and I'll share what I've heard, from the sources that I can share. Lula says that they were calling them scammers and frauds. There could be a scenario where maybe that was the case. Again, I don't know, but to me, to me, that's a red flag. Then one other thing I want to share. So for those that have followed my channel, know that I was involved in the Dylan Rounds case, or at least helped, and I interviewed the mother. And there's a reason why I want to bring this up real quick before we get into the footage. So for those that don't know, Dylan Rounds went missing in my home state in Utah. He went missing 2 years ago on Memorial Weekend, basically at the end of May. And, it ended up being a homicide, but it was a while before they actually found the person of interest, even though he was right there. And they did suspect this guy from basically right at the beginning. But here is Justin Rounds, the father of Dylan Rounds, and that's the mother, Candace Cooley. For those that don't know, they divorced a long time ago. And from what I heard, and I don't want to share, dirt or anything, but from what I understand, it was pretty bad breakup, and of course, that happens. Just people, some people are not compatible, and, I think just people, get emotional and do dumb things. But from what I heard, it was very, very toxic, the breakup was. And they couldn't stand each other, and there was alleged incidences of stuff going on. I really don't want to bring up that dirt, but the point I'm trying to make is when Dylan went missing, these two even though they had some, a really nasty breakup and, things were allegedly going on, when their son went missing, these two came together, even though Candace is married and moved on with another husband. And I'm not sure what Justin, but they were all there and everything put aside, and it was all about Dylan. And this mother, and even the father, but the mother, Candace Cooley, she came on my show multiple times. She even went on a show that was talking mad shit about them, about her, even bringing up this dirt that I'm talking about. She even went on his live and even turned to him and said, oh, wow, she's actually a good person. She wants to find her son. So the reason I bring this up,
We have them by now, but there's been some stalls and some hiccups.
is
and
it's
some
a
hang-ups
complete
and
opposite with this case that we're working on with Sebastian, which again is major red flags.
So we're patiently, waiting to see where it goes.
So, as I mentioned, it's been 9 months. Is it?
Yeah,
what is
it feels
Justin?
like
Going
yesterday.
in 3 months, it'll be a year since you've last seen your son.
It doesn't even seem real. Well, I'm from this area and I know a fair amount of people, and everybody will ask me if I know anything new, and I don't.
We figure those
And I just
emotions
want to
out.
shout out, before we move on, I just want to shout out, both of them are amazing. Justin, when I went out there, because I actually went out there with Texas EquiSearch, which was amazing. I got taught how to, I knew how to fly a drone, but I got taught all the, techniques on the drone and stuff by special, people that are, pilot drone operators. And Texas EquiSearch is such an amazing organization.
Out yet because we've been so busy fighting.
And anyway, I just wanted to say, with Justin, when I went out there for 7 days, I think it was 6 or 7, Justin bought my hotel room for each night, which, I never asked for or anything. He just, when we got back into town, he was like, hey, I got you a room. And so very amazing. Anyway, but in this case, you would think with Sebastian Rogers going missing, even though, there is, obviously they split and, there's negativity between the two, you would think it would still bring them all together because it's all about Sebastian. That's it. Sebastian, Team Sebastian. But that is not the case. And again, to me, it's red flags. Huge red flags. And it says, yeah. Again, you put everything aside. When that's your baby, that's the one you guys made, this special person. Everything gets thrown out the window, and you are in finding your baby. And I've seen that with the case with Aiden Clune, with his mother. They would do anything to, help find them. And in this case, that's not what's going on. Yeah. Again, and then where are the parents? Like, Christ on a cracker. Where are Katie and Chris? You see Seth out there. And I just want to say, people claim that Seth, there's footage that says Seth, was missing from a certain time period at his work. And I can tell you from my sources who spoke to a PI that had seen the footage, he is there working. He was not missing. He was there working. So, I just want to play this clip. This is building up to something that maybe, probably a lot of you have probably heard about the CPS reports, but there are a lot of them, and there's even an active one that's going on right now. But I'm going to play a clip building up to this, and then we'll get into the Texas Roadhouse footage. This, of course, is Aiden from the Lower Lodge. He did a 3-part on this case. Afterwards, he said he was so disturbed by what he discovered, he actually sent everything he had to the TBI and FBI. Coincidentally, 2 weeks later, FBI puts out a reward. Coincidence? Also, I've heard some other things was going on as well, and maybe I can share that with you guys here in a minute. But let's just play this small clip where he breaks down all the inconsistencies about Chris Proudfoot. This is going to lead into an interview that Tony Mathis did, and I know some people are not huge fans of Tony, but obviously he helped represent Seth, and he shares an email about what they were trying to do with Sebastian Rogers before he went missing, because they were trying to get Sebastian Rogers into getting him out and having him move in with Seth, but there was issues with the school getting into a certain program. So let me play this so I can read chat. Again, if you haven't already, please hit that like button. I don't like to mention this a lot, but if you would like to support this channel, there are ways to do so. Venmo, PayPal, become a member, Patreon. But anyway, let's continue on.
Told two distinctly different stories about beating Sebastian with a belt and lied about how many times CPS was involved. As Dave said, Chris told Nancy that he had hit Sebastian with a belt exactly once 3 years ago and that there was no CPS called. However, speaking to Smiley Stories World, Chris had said that after the incident which occurred when Sebastian was 15, a CPS agent had come to their door while they were sitting down for dinner that night. And after listening to the story he told there, I tried to write out a summary format of it, but I feel like I just need to read you what he said and go piece by piece. Sebastian went to school one day because we were at the house, he got in trouble, he didn't have a belt on. I was like, "Where's your belt?" and got it, and whack, kind of got him. And while Chris does not elaborate here on why Sebastian was in trouble, the comment that Sebastian didn't have a belt on would suggest that he was in trouble because he didn't have a belt on. To be honest, after everything I've read so far about Chris, it would not surprise me if that's all it took. But Chris continued, so he goes to school, he tells the teacher, and they're mandatory reporters. So the teacher reports it that afternoon. CPS shows up to the house while we're actually sitting down to eat dinner. Now for this part, the important thing to remember is that Chris told Nancy he only hit Sebastian with a belt once 3 years ago. And I know I am repeating myself a lot, but it's because of how important this aspect is. Chris told Nancy he hit Sebastian with a belt once 3 years ago, no CPS, right? But referring to this time, he says, now mind you, 15-year-old child, he's not real happy because he's in trouble, so he's being punished. So he shows, he makes the report, they come to the house, and the lady who comes to the house is the same lady we've had. She's had a case before. So not only did Chris lie about having used a belt, having admitted to using...
And keep that in mind. Had a case before. We're going to find out here in just a minute. And I'm sure probably if you guys, the ones that have been following this case nonstop, then probably know what's coming up next. But there's probably some of you that haven't heard this. And to me, this speaks, in my mind, to a possible motive. Playing right now... is, of course, the footage that I overlaid showing where I believe the lights were at.
The belt on both occasions, but he also lied about how many times a CPS agent was called. And he said now the case that was before was something that didn't even happen, and it's like 3 stories that was shoved into one. When they finally got it debunked, they were like, oh, he got it so mixed up in telling one story, it mixed into all 3 and it caused a commotion. The fact that there was no effort made to clarify what the stories were, explain what the truth was, just, no, it didn't actually happen, and you should believe me, does not make me want to believe him. When I think about what Chris has said, the fact that he said that the time before, when Sebastian was 12, he hit him with a belt exactly once, and as we now know, that was a lie. And the fact that he now says that there were 3 stories shoved into one the previous time makes me think that, in reality, the previous time wasn't just the one time he hit him with a belt. It was probably 3 separate times. And again, using his own words here. But he continues, well, they canceled that out, so the one on me, she shows up, and I say, hey, how you doing? It's her again. And initially, I didn't even catch this part, but Chris says, so the one on me, which could imply that those 3 stories Sebastian told the first time, maybe Chris wasn't the one responsible for all of them. And then the question is, who was? If we're going based on what Chris and Katie said in all of these interviews, which is that Chris really doesn't interact with many adults aside from them, it could really only be Katie, or potentially another member of the Proudfoot family. But he says, she's like, oh, hey, she's hey, I'm already don't. She's like, don't tell me anything, but I'm gonna tell you what I know happened, and I said okay. She goes, boom, boom, boom. She told me exactly what happened. I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, oh my God, I say yes, ma'am. It may be because I was writing.
That is more or less what Chris said in one of these interviews, and my God, it is just, what WTF did you just say?
This segment at 5 a.m., but none of that makes any sense and just sounds like nonsense he was coming up with on the spot so that he didn't have to explain what actually went down. You might be able to sense the irritation and anger within me as I go through this. You know, it's there. And, you know, either way, whether that was nonsense or not, I don't like the rest of what he said at all. Because he goes on to say, this is how it's been. Sebastian thought by telling on me, making it sound like I was so horrible that I was going to get in trouble over something stupid. It was like, no, Sebastian, you got punished, man. And I want to, again, Chris did not elaborate on why Sebastian was being punished. And, you know, is this just him not telling us why Sebastian was being punished? Was Sebastian being punished for not wearing a belt? Did Sebastian know why he was being punished? I mean, considering Sebastian's autistic, he's going to need to know why. This is not, you know, the kind of thing where he would be pretending not to know. If he's saying, I don't know why I'm being punished.
Are these all in the Proudfoot home?
Okay, so there's just a little bit about, you know, how the story changes and how Chris, when he talks about this whole CPS thing, it's riddles and nonsense, in my opinion. Stories are never straight, and he's trying to say that, you know, one report is, you know, happens to do with something else and it's not involved with Sebastian Rogers. Well, here we're going to learn that there was quite a bit, and we're going to learn that there was actually an open, and I think this has been known for quite a while, that there is an active CPS report, but no one can see it because I believe it happened on, I want to say January 5th, but it happened in January, just before he went missing. And since this happened just before he went missing, it's an open investigation, so I guess people can't read the report and what it entails. So now I have to shout out, I love Mr. E's Crimecast. God bless them. It's such a great YouTube channel. I love them. I'm sure a lot of you guys know this channel. Huge shout out to them. I know they played my video when I put out the, you know, when I was working on the, you know, the lights video and all that. And anyway, so they had an interview with Tony Mathis, and I'm going to play, it's about 6 minutes of it. Now, if you want to listen to the whole thing, I've got a link to the Lore Lodge and Mr. E Crimecast in the description below. So huge shout out to them. I do love Mr. E Crimecast. For those that are new to the channel, I don't do the drama stuff. I am Team Sebastian. You know, everything I'm saying is allegedly until we have, you know, actual evidence or facts. But I'm going to play this while we look at the Texas Roadhouse footage. And then we're going to get into the vehicles, and I'll explain kind of what they believe is going on. And I'm going to try to shout out the members.
Correct.
Okay,
Now,
I don't think I've ever heard that number before.
so what I can tell you, obviously, we are not allowed to discuss the content of those reports.
Right.
I can tell you that whether they're in one parent's name or the other step parent.
I think you're thinking about earlier in the day, Caitlin. It seems like they went to the grocery store, and there was the niece and an aunt that they met up with, and then eventually they went to the bowling alley, and then I think they split before they went to the bowling alley. But I think that part with the two other people was the grocery store. So it was grocery store, bowling alley, Texas Roadhouse, from what I understand. And if I get anything wrong, please correct me, because it's been a while. I have a lot to catch up on.
Name. The allegations are
Oh, no worries, Caitlin.
consistently against the step parent. So you can have a DCS report that's filed that may be in the mom's name, but it may
Aiden.
be regarding the environment that she is allowing her child to be in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's go back to the first of these DCS reports was filed in 22. So fast forward to 23, which would have been, let's say, a year ago at this time.
Okay, Rocky.
Katie and Chris were actually trying to get Seth to take Sebastian a year before everybody knew that the plan was for him to go to live with Seth.
So keep this in mind. This is about a year ago. He's talking about how they wanted, Katie and Chris, they wanted to get Sebastian and have him move in permanently with Seth Rogers. Now, Seth Rogers, he needed to be able to do that. I'm sure there's a lot of hoops he had to go through, and one of them, the biggest one, which was the issue, was some kind of homeschool or some kind of school, and they had this unfortunately long waiting list.
So you look at, I want to say, October of 22. Now, these dates are rough. They're within a month or so of being accurate.
Okay.
But in October of 22, they had tried to get Seth to take Sebastian then. This is not something that a lot of people know. Well,
I have not heard this, no.
what they're talking about when they say that things could not get in order for him to get Sebastian, it had nothing to do with his home. It had to do with the fact that they wanted him to take Sebastian in the fall of 22, and he had tried to get signed up for the online program with Clarksville schools, and there was a waiting list, and he could not get approved. So he had a conversation with Chris and Katie and told them that he really thought that it would be smart for them to continue to let him finish out the school year and not move him to another physical school in the middle of the year. So that's what happened. He stayed in his, stayed at the school he was at for the remainder of 22 and part of 23. So fast forward to November of 23, we know that there were more DCS reports filed in that month. And we know that on or about the time those DCS reports were filed, Seth Rogers received a call from Chris and Katie that they wanted to put Sebastian in a behavioral center. Basically, you can call it a boys' home. I don't like to call it that. I like to call it a behavioral center.
Okay.
They were having problems with Sebastian at home. They were having problems with Sebastian at school. They were kind of at their wits' end with him. According to Seth, they did not have a lot of patience with him, which is why they had a lot of problems that Seth did not have when he was with Seth. So Seth asked Chris and Katie to send him the name of the organization that they were trying to send him to. They sent him the name. The name of that organization was Bledsoe Youth Academy in Gallatin, Tennessee. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that place.
I don't think I've heard of that.
Okay.
And I just want to pause this real quick. Again, if you're coming in, this is from Mr. E's Crimecast. This is, I think, about a week ago when the interview came out. I'm only playing about, I think, about 6 to 7 minutes of it while we watch the Texas Roadhouse footage. There was like, I think, 3 parts released, so I tried to put them in chronological order, even though, that it's basically 2 hours of footage or something like that. So keep in mind, they only show, like an 8 minute clip here, a 4 minute clip here, and so, and it's not all just one, just continuous clip. There's skips. So do keep that in mind. But again, huge shout out to them. Let me just get to chat real quick and we'll continue on once we finish with this interview. And again, if you haven't heard this is going to be very shocking. And to me, leads to a possible motive. Cat in a Hat, who is just an amazing supporter of this channel. Thank you so much for the $10 super sticker. God bless you. It really helps out this channel. I'm trying to find the members here. Heather, whatever, now a member for at least 6 months. Thank you, Heather, for your support. God bless you. Really, really helps this channel out. We got a new member, Panda Bear's Mom, 1971. That's awesome. I see a little picture. I wish I could see it bigger. Thank you so much. God bless you. All right, let's continue on.
So that was in November of 23. Seth does research
Sadly,
on
yeah.
that specific center. And according to Seth, there had been 5 or 6 childhood deaths associated with that facility.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
So when he found that out, he reached out to Chris and Katie again by phone, let them know that under no circumstances was his son going to that facility, and gave them the reason. So they in turn told Seth that if he could find another behavioral facility that he liked better or that he thought was a safer place for Sebastian, they would allow, they would consider that. So the infamous email that people are talking about was simply a forwarded email. I have a copy of it, and I will send.
Now, from what I understand, this email is from Katie Proudfoot to Seth Rogers. Now, if I have that wrong and somebody knows better in the chat, please correct me. But from my source, that is, the email between the two.
Send it to you guys off the air.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
He reached out to a lady that was a behavioral specialist, and she recommended 4 different centers. And the 4 centers were one issues he may or may not have. So fast forward to the end of January of 24.
Okay, this is huge. This is huge. So there's already, previous CPS reports that have been going on. Remember, Nancy Grace interview, Chris Proudfoot, is being very dodgy about this whole CPS thing and, saying it's just one big mix up. But no, there's stuff going on. And then there's one that activated in January, just a month before his disappearance, which is now one that is active because he went missing, and now we can't really look at that at this time. Real quick, I want to shout out, I know I got 2 big things going on in the chat here. Paula B gifting 10 mob crew memberships. Thank you, Paula B. God bless you. That is so sweet. If you did by chance get gifted a mob crew membership, please thank Paula. That is so awesome. You are a legend.
There was another DCS report that was filed We do not have the details of that report because that report was ongoing when Sebastian went missing.
So even Seth has never read this one.
Correct.
And Tony, there's a few questions in chat about this. And if I remember correctly, Seth had to go to an attorney to get these reports in the first place, correct?
The report, yes, all of the reports.
Going through when you were giving this timeline. So if he was trying to get him registered for the online school in 2022, but wasn't able to get in because of a waiting list. Why didn't he take him at the beginning of the fall of 2023? Was there? Do you know the reason?
Hadn't been approved yet. They approve them all throughout the year.
So there was even a 2-year backlog on trying to get into that online school.
Tony said the first week of December he was approved for the online school, and that would have been in 2023.
I see.
It's about 14 months it took him to get approved.
That's terrible, because who knows what would have, if that would have happened. I know playing the what if game, so many scenarios in hindsight, but it's such a shame that, there was such a long waiting list. Would we be in this position, and would, Sebastian Rogers be safe with his father, and, we wouldn't be in this nightmare, or, the family, of course. Huge shout out to I'm gonna say Ginger Roberti. I hope I didn't butcher that. I'm just gonna say Ginger. God bless you, Ginger, for the $50 super sticker. That is so amazing. God bless you, Ginger. You are a legend. Thank you so much for the support. Let me just get caught up on my chat. Mods, please let me know. I know we got 1,200 people in here. If I need to slow it down more, please let me know. Miranda Lee, good to see you. Oh, yeah, so many red flags, one after another. Okay, so now we're going to start breaking down the footage and show you what I've discovered. I'm sure maybe there's stuff that people, because this has been out, so I know a lot of people have been breaking this down. But I'm going to break down in my, what I could see. I haven't really looked at what others have done, because I really hate to do that, So I broke down the red flags that I see, and then I will also add in what I heard that I can share with my sources that they believe is going on. So this is going to be kind of shocking. So let's get into it. So they exit. If we back up just a little bit here. Now, remember, this is military time, so, you minus 12, so obviously it's 6 p.m. I think they got there a little bit before 5 p.m. there.
Here. So that's what happened.
I'm going to turn this down. But again, I'd encourage you, if you haven't heard it, please go check out Mr. E's podcast YouTube channel. Link is in the description. Please do it after the live show if you can. If you want to hear more about what he shared. So they arrived a little bit before 5. And then if we see here, it is... Wait, let me make sure I got this right. So they get there probably 5:30, maybe. So between 5 and 5:30, we'll just say that. And then we are going to skip. So then they are now leaving at 6:23. First, we'll focus on the hoodie guy, and then we're going to get into the vehicles, which obviously is very interesting. And it goes along with my source that has been kind of feeding me some information that she allows me to, that they allow me to share. So we see Katie walking to her car. I have a breakdown video that I did recently where I thought it was kind of interesting of the interaction. Notice all these people, how they all kind of look over as if whatever conversation's going on must be something that's clearly got their attention. So the question is what is going on with this green hoodie guy? And it says, case is so crazy, more turns than a maze. Oh, yes. Thank you, Nancy. God bless you. I appreciate the support. Okay. So that's where I was trying to get his. I was trying to figure out his. What he was, the whatever is written on his hoodie there. I was trying to run different filters because it's possible maybe this guy knows something, or he could just be a witness and maybe he witnessed something. Clearly he's somebody that before Rogers disappeared, and in my opinion, I believe it's an abduction. Whether the family's involved or not, who knows? But it's interesting that this guy is waiting between the cars. And I even talked about in my video where, if this is just a case of where the guy is getting out, because they're parked in the handicap spots, and maybe he just got out of the passenger side. But when Katie and them arrive, it's like, okay, well, one's going to wait for the other one to pass, or he's going to back up and allow Katie to get in the car. But that's not what happens. They actually get close. He backs up almost out of view, and they have an interaction. And then the green hoodie guy then leaves. So we're gonna break down all this stuff that I have noticed. I'm sure others have probably broken this down a bunch of times. So I do apologize if a lot of this stuff, has been brought up before. But I think there will be at least a couple of things that maybe, hopefully, I've caught that maybe needs to be looked at a little bit closer. So one of the first things that I want to point out is this right here. As they get into the vehicle, there is a car that had been sitting there, and then it leaves. Now this is very interesting. Now there's two scenarios here. There is a lady that was walking to the car, close to that car, and it's possible you can see her here walking to it, and it's possible maybe this car was just waiting to pick up, maybe she's like a waitress or something, and then she got in that vehicle. But because it's kind of out of screen, we can't tell if she got in that vehicle or continued on to another car. But it is interesting that it's waiting behind this car. But there are other cars that are obviously something that we need to point out. Chris Hoodie Guy was at the care 1 minute 50 seconds before Katie, I heard. Can someone confirm this? Oh, was at the car. You probably just got the E in there. Was at the car 1 minute and 50 seconds before Katie. Yes, I will read something here in just a minute about allegedly what this guy from, because again, at night when they got this footage, of course, they got certain clips, but they wanted to get the whole I think there's about 2 hours worth. And I think they did eventually get that. And they claim that this green hoodie guy just kind of came out of nowhere, according to them, and then was just kind of sitting there waiting when Katie and Sebastian exited. Now, if that's true, I don't know. But I promise you, I'm going to show you some stuff here in just a second. Those are going to think 5 or 6, 8. Looks like they got to the Roadhouse just before 6 p.m. there. Okay, guys. Again, if you'd like, please hit that like button. Let me read my mod real quick. Oh, yeah. I know a lot of people want me to overlay some cars. I will tell you guys that I haven't done any overlays, but I will show you some stuff that it's very interesting that maybe some people have missed. As a matter of fact, there was something that I literally caught probably 10 minutes before I went live, and I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta add this in. This is huge." Because for those that have watched this, notice that since at the time they didn't have the whole 2 hours, I'm assuming on only certain clips. They kind of clip certain areas where they fast forward, and they kind of do this flash thing to kind of let you know that they're skipping. And so let's look at the green hoodie guy, and then we're going to focus on the cars because there's more than one car. Oops. I'm trying to click on this. As you can see, date 2/25. Now, he would be reported missing looks like that next morning at around, I think, 5 or 6 a.m. So here we can see Katie and Sebastian eating. I'm going to go ahead and skip to the exit, but I will have a separate full video with them. Yeah, so according to At Night, as they're exiting, there is a green hoodie guy where there's supposedly a suspicious exchange. Okay, so according to At Night, they say, and I'm just going to let the video play, but they're claiming that there's some kind of exchange between Katie and this guy. Now, I tried to look for it. I couldn't really see it, but there are definitely some movements with the hand. I'll point them out if you missed my video. Where, at least according to At Night, they claim that there is some kind of handoff between Katie and this green hoodie guy. Yeah, who's she looking for? I'm just going to break this down for you guys and point out what I see as I kind of edited the video and tried to zoom in to see if I could see anything that looked suspicious or out of place. But here is a thumbnail that they had released where it shows different things where they claim there's kind of an exchange going on, although I don't really... there's clearly an exchange, but I don't see any kind of item that's being exchanged. Not to say there isn't, but I don't really see it. So the family X is about 623 here. They are up in this top right hand corner just behind this guy in the yellow jacket with the mask on. Now, as we can see, we'll pause it right here. Now there's a hoodie guy. So first things to point out is we can see that Katie's parked in a handicapped spot, and these two spots are handicapped spots. And now there's a guy. Yeah, and you can clearly see him sitting there, and it's like when I watch this in slow motion, because I was trying to think, okay, well, maybe, like, again, it could be an innocent explanation where this guy, let's say a scenario where, because clearly he's next to a car that's a handicapped spot. Maybe this is an older, kind of an older couple that's going out to eat, and maybe the wife's already inside, but this guy went to go back and get his ID, But it's weird because he's just kind of standing there facing them, and you can see that they get the attention of Sebastian and Katie right away. The driver's side and the passenger side of the two vehicles. Obviously, this vehicle here is Katie's vehicle. Now, this could be two scenarios, possibly more, but the two main theories is this could be just an innocent explanation where one person's exiting and another person's trying to get in, but the lane is so small that one is waiting for the other. But this is where it kind of gets weird because that doesn't actually happen. And you can see that they clearly know that this guy is between the two vehicles. So as they walk towards the vehicle, you can clearly see that they start to make eye contact with the individual. And he actually kind of backs up a little bit.
Yeah, which is
again,
really
so
weird.
it could just be that maybe he's going to let Katie, get into her car. But this is where it gets kind of odd because that doesn't actually happen. Not to say this doesn't have an instant explanation. Now you can see Sebastian,
And Sebastian's clearly, got his attention.
clearly has his attention. So I'm assuming there is some kind of conversation going on. Is it nefarious or innocent? We don't know. There's no audio, clearly. We can see him gesturing with his left hand, almost either putting his hand out or waving back. As you can see right here, I'll circle it, which I thought was interesting. It's tough to say, what he's doing right here. Is he kind of putting his hand out, or is he kind of waving back for her to come?
Yeah, so it's weird because it almost looks like he's kind of waving like, oh, hey, come by. But it's almost like he has his hand out like, hey, they were exchanging something. Again, this is just speculation, tossing theories out. I'm trying to read chat as we go along here. Then Katie kind of puts her hand on her car.
She puts her left hand and kind of puts it on the vehicle.
Clearly,
Now,
Sebastian is still focused on what's going on.
So clearly there is an interaction. There is a conversation.
Could it be innocent? Certainly. Or, again, something more nefarious.
Backs up a little bit. She then moves forward. And this is where I thought, okay, well, maybe he's just allowing her to get in the vehicle. And then we'll wait for her as she gets in the vehicle, then he'll pass through. But that is not what actually happens. And now this is slowed down a little bit, but as you can see, she moves even kind of beyond the driver's side door a little bit. And there's some kind of interaction going on. Again, it could be innocent or there could be something more nefarious. We don't know. You can't really see much, but again, if this was just, two people trying to, one getting in a car and one getting out, we don't see her getting into her vehicle.
Yeah, again, so like if you're thinking of it, is it just an instant explanation and this car next to Katie's, and this guy was associated with this car, and just got something out of it, and now is backing up to allow Katie, but that doesn't happen because she doesn't unlock the car, and there's a continued conversation that really, unfortunately, is kind of out of view, at least on this camera.
That's what I would say at least makes it a little interesting to kind of point this out. Obviously, I'm sure most people who have seen this have noticed this, but again, you can't really see much. There's a little bit of movement.
Maybe a minute.
Again, if this was innocent, you would kind of think, okay, well, now she's just going to get in the vehicle while he backed up to allow her to get in. Or there's a conversation going on. Maybe they know each other and just having a small talk quickly before they leave. Then the green hoodie guy emerges.
Yeah, Sandy. Yeah.
Now, from what I could tell, it's kind of an older gentleman. Again, now we see his left hand kind of waving, possibly at Sebastian, and which is really weird. So, you know, and again, it could be another explanation where maybe this is just a local she knows and it's like ran into. But the weird thing is that he's just waiting back there before they even come out. So, again, that's what's just where, you know, it's such a weird interaction. And his right hand looks like it put something or in out of his pocket. Again, was that something that was handed to him, or was he just kind of moving his hand from his pocket up? We don't know. But the way he moves, you can kind of see he's got his hands out, kind of as, you know, some people that don't want to trip. So again, this could just have an instant explanation. Again, it's believed he came from the car that is obviously parked in the handicap, so it could be two. Now, according to At Night, that is not the case. I will read that here in just a minute, according to what they believe. Again, I have to say this is all alleged until we actually have, you know, surveillance of what they're claiming. But I will show, for those that don't know where they say this guy came from, I will show this here in a minute. Elderly couples going to out to eat, and maybe the gentleman had to go back for his wallet or something. Or maybe it's something more nefarious, and there was some kind of interaction that possibly led to his disappearance. We don't know. But here's a zoomed out version. Again, we could kind of see Sebastian sitting there waiting. He's trying to kind of unlock the car, but clearly there's some kind of interaction still going on with Katie and the hoodie guy. And then I just kind of wanted to show the wave, which it does look like he's kind of waving to Sebastian. Which I show here in just a second, kind of zoomed out. Right, here comes green hoodie guy, and we'll see the wave, which does look like it's towards Sebastian Rogers. Now we see the car being unlocked as we zoom out. But Katie's still not in the car. She's opened up the door, and now they get in. The hoodie guy then just gingerly walks into the Roadhouse. Yeah, there is. So again, there could be just an instant explanation where, you know, maybe they know each other and there's just some small talk, or maybe there's something else going on. I know I've repeated that, but I just wanted to put in my 2 cents. If you notice anything, put it in the comments down below. Again, according to At Night, they believe there is some kind of handoff. I could not really see it, but sadly this would be the last time Sebastian Rogers would be seen in a local setting. From here, I think they went to Sebastian's home, where later in that night, Katie allegedly hears, you know, a loud thump, doesn't check on him, and then when she wakes up at around, I think, 5 or 5:30, he's not there, and I believe they call law enforcement somewhere around about 6 a.m. regarding his disappearance. In my opinion, I believe it is an abduction. Whether the family is in on it, I don't know. Sebastian Rogers would have turned 16 the other day, which is really tragic, and okay, so now this is where things get really interesting and heated, because I'm sure for those that have been following this case know that there's kind of, sadly, two groups, you know, the Proudfoot group and the Seth Rogers group, you know, but I'm just Team Sebastian. I just want to get to the truth. I don't care if it leads to the mother, leads to Chris Proudfoot, leads to all three of them. I don't care. I just want to find answers and help however I can, in my opinion. So what I heard, and I'm just going to say this is alleged, okay? But for those that don't know, SF Investigates, who is Steve, he recently worked on the Hannah Kobayashi case. Excuse me. But now he's back working for the Proudfoots. Let me repeat that. He is back there working for the Proudfoots. So, from what I heard from my sources,
and I think this has been shared publicly before, that once they found out that At Night was trying to get the footage from the Texas Roadhouse, SF investigates Steve Fisher, and allegedly, well, I should say allegedly, both of them, allegedly Steve Fisher and Katie Proudfoot went to that Texas Roadhouse to go and get all that footage. Now, to me, that seems just really fishy if that's the truth. As if they want to get that footage, keep it from themselves, and not allow anybody else to see it. Again, this is all just speculation and theory. I'm not saying that's what it was, but there, according from what I heard, there was a scene that happened with Steve Fisher and Katie Proudfoot when they went to the Texas Roadhouse making a scene. That is what I heard. If anybody knows where I can find some more concrete information about that, please email me or let me know in the chat. But that's what I heard from my source, and they're pretty good. They've been so far spot on with their stuff. Why, if that is true, why are they so worried about that footage? You know? Major red flags. Regina's got the red flags going on. Yep. Red flags. Why are they worried about this footage getting out? If you want to find your son, you know, it's certainly a scenario where maybe somebody followed Kitty home, and when she went to bed, it was an abduction, and you know, the family wasn't involved. We don't know, but still, you know, we know surveillance technology in this day and age is how the public can help, and there are things that maybe people miss or the law enforcement may have missed that they can share with the public that will dissect the hell out of it and maybe find something that they had missed. Chickbake says, go back. Oops, where'd it go? Go back to the original media and I can help you match it with the sources. Back to the original media and I can help you match it with the sources. Yeah, if you'd like to email me about that, I'd love to hear more about that. I wonder if Steve's involved with them. He is definitely working and helping them. Now, is he involved with like the actual disappearance? I don't think so. But there's a lot going on. These guys, man, again, maybe I'll do a members live where I could share a little bit more information that, you know, I have to talk to my source, but about what's been going on recently with these guys that I've just talked about, especially Steve and some other groups. But okay, we're going to get to the car next, which, again, this is where there's some very interesting stuff. Again, if you haven't, please hit that like button. We got 1,300 people in here. God bless you guys. Please try to be respectful. I know some people have different opinions. We're all adults. We can agree to disagree. So I just want to read, according to At Night, what they claim. We're still going to just say alleged until we have the actual evidence, because that's how this channel, you know, we like to stick with evidence, but we still speculate. But I'm going to read this. I know it's kind of hard to read because it's pretty small. So I'm going to read this for you guys here just to kind of explain what they claim this hoodie guy, what's going on with him. Excuse me. Okay. So, as you can see, the reward has gone up. Now, if you notice, the reward number is kind of interesting. $225,155 reward. Now, I'm sure many of you guys seen that reward. That is kind of an odd number. You know, it's not 200,000. It's not 220,000, or even just 225,000. This actually, there is a reason behind these numbers. Now, I'll share the first part of it. The first three numbers are when Sebastian Rogers disappeared. February 25th, 225. So for anybody who doesn't know, there is kind of a secret message in this reward that the dog and the team are kind of hinting at. And the 155 has meaning as well. All right, let me read this about the green hoodie, and then we're going to move on to the cars. New information suggests Sebastian felt uneasy on February 25th. Analysis of the enhanced slow-motion footage indicates Sebastian may have been kidnapped by at least two perpetrators who targeted Mrs. Proudfoot outside Texas Roadhouse. Remember, there's those two lights at 3:10 a.m. On February 26th. Surveillance footage and corroborating evidence support this, suggesting his final sighting was on February 25th at the Texas Roadhouse in Henderson. Sebastian and Katie Proudfoot arrived, and a dark-colored vehicle followed them. While inside, Miss Proudfoot took at least two photographs of Sebastian, who was seated across from her. While at the restaurant, Sebastian went to the restroom for 4 to 5 minutes, and Mrs. Proudfoot is seen texting with an unknown person. She asked for the check and continued texting the individual. When the two stood up, the hooded person exited the vehicle, and the driver repositioned it behind Mrs. Proudfoot's car. She and Sebastian exited the restaurant, and Green Hoodie tried to get Proudfoot's attention from her car door. The subject was unidentified. The subject was angled away from the camera, but a physical interaction and transaction appears to have occurred. Miss Proudfoot handed Green Hoodie an object, and Green Hoodie handed her an unidentified item before disappearing from the camera. Now, I tried to look for that. I couldn't see that. Not to say it didn't happen, but, you know, there's clearly an interaction. Again, it could be nothing, or it could be, you know, something more nefarious. After the interaction, the Green Hoodie journeyed on foot towards Texas Roadhouse. No footage shows their exit or subsequent actions, so their whereabouts are unknown. Furthermore, the dark-colored vehicle followed Mrs. Proudfoot. Green Hoodie and their accomplice might have been in Sebastian's neighborhood immediately following the interaction at the restaurant. Mrs. Proudfoot has refused to discuss the matter and suggests the dog bounty hunter and his PIs should ask the police those questions, emphasizing any communication to myself or my husband should go through law enforcement. Contact them, not us. However, there is no evidence that Miss Proudfoot met with Green Hoodie or their accomplice leaving the restaurant. At Night is re-examining the timeline to understand Sebastian's final confirmed interactions and the identities of everyone involved. So I think that's about it. Very interesting. Oh, one thing. Let me read this top part because this is interesting as well. The disappearance of Sebastian Drake Rogers captivated the attention of law enforcement authorities, who have conducted an extensive investigation into his whereabouts. On August 26, so that's 4 months ago, The FBI offered a $50,000 reward for information leading to Sebastian Rogers' safe return. And keep in mind the word that they used in this sentence, and conviction of those responsible, let me quote that again, those responsible for his disappearance. I mean, that's pretty black and white in my opinion. So, I think this is a clear-cut abduction in my opinion. Which parties are involved remains to be seen, but we know that there is so many red flags. Okay, I'm going to read chat here in just a minute. I just want to read the rest of this, and then we're going to get to the cars, which I promise you is going to be very fascinating. On September 3rd, at night, joined the search and announced a $50 reward for Sebastian's safe return and his abductor's conviction. Credible leads in Oregon and New York led to an increased reward to $225,155. Again, that number has some significance to it. Initial reports indicate his safe return on February 25th. However, at night maintains that he did not return. If he did, Green Hoodie or the accomplices were likely present, as evidenced by the footage capturing two individuals in Mrs. Proudfoot's neighborhood that evening. Again, you take all the little breadcrumbs. You have this video that's clearly taken around 3 to 4 a.m., definitely no garbage truck. We know that that's between the yards. I've broken that footage down. I've taken, I'm sure maybe there's some things that I could take that footage a little bit further, but we've tried a lot with that footage. Let me play this while I catch up on chat for a minute. This is just some close-ups of Green Hoodie. I was trying to see if I could read the letters on his hoodie and run different filters. I haven't had a lot of time to play with this, so this is early days. And then we're going to get into the vehicles. I promise you, the vehicles are very interesting. Lisa says, thank you so much for your continuous coverage on this case. Hashtag Sebastian Rogers. God bless you, Lisa. Thank you so much for the support. It means the world to me. Of course, I want nothing more than a happy reunion between a father and this poor kid who knows, God knows what he's been through these last almost 10 months that he's been missing, and again, where the hell is the parent? Where the hell is Chris, or at least Katie, where's Katie? I'm sorry, but again, there's a reason why I showed, for those that have been here for most of the show, there's a reason why I showed the interview between the mother of Dylan Rounds, Candace Cooley, and the father, Justin Rounds, who had a very explosive, that's not the right word, volatile split up. Volatile split up. But yet, when their son went missing, they came together. It was all about their son. All right, let me pause it here. Let me get to chat, and now we're going to get to the two vehicles. And there's something that At Night did with this footage that I literally noticed just like 10 minutes before I went live, that I had to go and quickly fix, because I think they did this on purpose. So let me get to chat for just a minute, and then we got about 15 to 30 minutes left with some information I'm going to share. Yes, Kathy Clark. The 155 is an address. It is. Yep. I like it. Again, think about Dog's his reputation, and being associated with At Night, and I know Nick the Hat is a little bit controversial and doesn't really have a filter, but from what I heard, Nick the Hat is very tenacious. Although, nobody's perfect, and we have, I'm sure a lot of us have a past that, where we've done some stuff that we're not proud of. But again, I will do a kind of a Patreon membership video where I'll share a little bit more that, I got to speak with my sources. But again, all right, so let me read chat for a second. We've got just a little bit more, but I promise you I've saved, the very interesting stuff for last here. Cynthia says, "You're a good dude, Chris. Thanks for covering the Sebastian case." Thank you so much, Cynthia. God bless you. Again, it's you guys. It's just amazing how many people come in that want answers and want the best outcome for Sebastian. So, I appreciate the support, but it all goes to the community. And you guys are amazing. So God bless you guys. Jennifer, thank you so much. Look at that. Member for 31 months. What a legend you are, Jennifer. Much love. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for all your amazing hard work. Jennifer is just amazing when it comes to Nightbot and doing such an amazing job with the community and stuff. Thank you so much. All right, now to the vehicles. So the first one, so just to give a little background, obviously this is Katie Proudfoot's car. They're walking to the car. We're not really going to focus on what's going on with Green Hoodie Guy, but notice there is a car behind them. Now, there is this lady that is walking towards that car. Now, it's possible that this could be an innocent explanation where this lady is, maybe she's a waitress and just got off work and is getting picked up, by a friend. But unfortunately, we can't tell if she gets in the vehicle because by the time she gets out of the frame up here, we don't know if she gets in the vehicle or not. So now they get in. Now, of course, to be able to back up, here is a top-down view of the Roadhouse. Here's the Texas Roadhouse. This is the direction we're facing. So the camera is kind of pointing, this way here. Now, Katie's going to back up and then head down south. And there's a vehicle that's kind of waiting here. Crazy Nate. You know what? Let's look at that. I think, you know what? Thank you, Crazy Nate. We'll look at that. God bless you, Crazy Nate. I love our community. You guys are so amazing. We'll take a look at that. I will write that down. We'll finish off with that, Crazy Nate. Okay, so the vehicle leaves. Oh, shit. Where's my pin? Damn it. Okay. So now we see the vehicle I replayed it, so again, because I just want to point everything out because I promise you this is very interesting. Sorry, I'm just gonna look for my pin. There's the lady. Oh, the pin's on the ground. Got it. Okay. So obviously this car is behind them and is definitely going to have to move. And once again, like I said just a second ago, it could be possible that this lady is walking to this vehicle to get into the passenger side again, but we can't see it because it's out of frame. So it's possible she walked past and got into a different vehicle. And it's possible that this vehicle is waiting. But there's something that At Night does with the footage that it happens so fast, and I thought, oh shit, there's a reason they did this. So there the car goes. Here is a closer look at it. Now, again, it's tough to see if there's a passenger in there. I do want to play with this footage and see if I could maybe mess around with some settings and see if I could notice if there's a passenger in this car. It's really tough to see. You know, it's possible she could have gotten in the back seat. So this car obviously goes the opposite direction that Proudfoot's went, but this is where things got interesting. Again, we got about 20 more minutes and we'll finish up, guys, but I promise you I'm saving the best for last here. Okay, the video's gonna... Okay, look at the time. Oh, let me pause it. Let me move it over so you guys can see it. Thank you, Zoo Blues. You guys are amazing. Ooh, U.S. Navy. Yeah, we'll look at that. We'll at the very last, I'll show the clip of him with the different filters that I ran. But I want to show these cars real quick. So look at the time. So it's 18:25:07, which is the seconds. So it's 18:25. Oh, and let me just back it up just a second, actually. Okay, if you look, this is when Katie leaves. It's 18:24 and 55 seconds. So we'll just round up to 18:25 even, right? Because that's Katie's car. So as you can see, 18:25 even, just as they leave, right? Then there's another car that's, waiting to get in. Now watch the timer. It happened so fast. Now that happened, boom. It just jumped. Sorry, guys. So we got 18:25:07, 08, 09. Bam. 18:25. Now it's 40 seconds. So literally 30 seconds. It skipped 30 seconds, which I thought was very interesting. And I think they did this on purpose. And the reason why is watch what happens. there is another car very similar to the car that was parked behind them. And I will do a side by side. That is literally almost just a minute, almost less than a minute, but almost about 45 to 50 seconds just after, because remember, it's 1825 even as Proudfoot's left, and there was already a car that had left. And I thought, this is the reason why they skipped it 30 seconds, because this car, let me know what you think in chat, and I'll play it a couple times. But there it is. Looks pretty close. And I'll play it one more time. And it's possible that car just circled around because there's kind of an outside, and I'll show right here. What I think this car did is likely circled around the Texas Roadhouse as they were leaving and came back around one more time. And it took them a minute because remember, they left just before she was backing out. It was 1824, so they left at like 1824 and 30 seconds. So I think it'd be about a minute to just circle that little area there. And again, it was so fast. If you guys, I'm sure you guys are seeing that. It was so fast that they, when they just jumped that 30 seconds, and I'm like, why did they do that? And of course, there's that black car passing by, and I thought, oh shit. That's why they skipped that 30, it's 31 seconds technically. But, again, let's look at it side by side here. It's too bad this car is in the way, because when the car went by the one time, when it was leaving the first time, when it was waiting for Katie, there was no car right here where now there's a car. So unfortunately, we have a car kind of blocking this, but my goodness, I mean, let me know what you guys think in chat. I know it's certainly possible it could just be another car. Maybe it's somebody just waiting to pick somebody up. There could be, definitely innocent explanations, but from what I understand from my sources, they are interested in a car that had followed Katie home. Can you make the picture behind the one in front bigger? I could do that if you guys would like me to. I would be more than happy to do that. What I need to do is get a screenshot from both of them at the best possible angle. So you wake up, there's some small going on with all and oh. Okay, give me 1 second, guys, and then we'll do the green hoodie, and then we'll finish up. Okay. Just give me a second, guys, here. Then I don't know what's going to be the best photo. Probably this one right. We'll do two of them here. Let's do two of them here. We'll take that one there. Oh, come back here. And so it definitely has the floodlights there. Because that's going to be important. Remember, it's got the floodlights down in there. Let's get that tail light. Okay, let's do that one right there. Nope. Oh, boy. That was way off. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's a shame that that car is in the way there. Okay. Let's put these all together here. I need to run... what do I need? Pictures, screenshot. Those in there. Skip those. Skip. Okay. Okay, give me 1 second. Throw paint in. Boom. Okay, so this is the car. This is the first time. This is the car that was waiting. Okay, we have one there. Remember, this is the second car. But let me get the one. Oh, here we go. This one's a good one here. We can see that it's got the floodlights below matching that. So let's put that there. That one's kind of got the body of it. Hold on. I could do this a lot better if I was running my programs here. Let's throw this one here so we know the ones, this one are the first car, but we can see that it's got the floodlights matching up. This one is probably the bad picture. We got the tail lights. Oops. Appears to be, looks like a 4-door. I'll have to run some better graph. It looks like a 4-door. Just a regular 4-door sedan there. What do you guys think? Now, yeah, some are saying the rims are different. Now, keep in mind, it could be the lighting, right? Because there was no car here, right? There was no car here. So there's lights shining on it, right? But look at the spokes. Look at the spokes on them. I mean, the spokes are pretty similar there. Remember, lighting can change a lot of things. Because remember, there's no car here, so you got this red light beaming on it. And now you have a car there, so there's no light shining on it. So it could be more silver, but because the light's blocked, because remember, the second car that comes by, there is now a vehicle. Now, it's possible. It may not be. Let me read the chat. But there it is again. The highlight up there. It's close. It could be a different car. It's certainly close. They are definitely the same rims. It would take a little bit more to break it down, but yeah, it's definitely close. It certainly could be a different car. Now there's one more car, so we're not finished, and then then we'll do the hoodie guy, and then we'll finish up, guys. Well, we got 1,400 people in here. Again, thank you so much to everybody in here. God bless you guys. Again, if you would like to support the channel, there are ways. Venmo, PayPal, membership, Patreon. It just by chance, if you do send something like Venmo or PayPal, if you could let my mods know so I could shout you out. So now there's a second car. There's another car that goes by, and this is going to shock some of you. Queen says that's a two-door car. It could be. I'll have to take a closer look at it. Yeah, you may be right on that. Alan says first car Porsche, second car Nissan Altima. It's possible. Nadia says not the same car. Okay, now there's another car that goes by. Literally 1 minute after they leave. And I want to show you this. And this car is going the same direction. So, they had just left at what? 125 even, right? 125. 1825. Remember, they left at pretty much 1825 flat. Watch this car go by right here. Same direction that they left. Now it's slowed down, but this car is scooting. Less than 1 minute after they leave, this car, if I played it in normal speed, it's scooting along pretty quickly. And it's got that kind of Nissan, Toyota look to it, clearly four-door there. And I'm going to show you something that's going to kind of shock you here. Now, it just could be a strange coincidence. But there is a Nissan Maxima that is connected to a family member, extended family member. Some are saying a Mercedes C-Class. But now keep in mind the lighting. This is supposed to be a silver car here. But this is attached to extended family. I can't tell if the rims are the same or not. But, boy, that sure looks close to a Nissan. And you guys know how I said that there's just some kind of weird connection and some theories about some kind of Nissan or something possibly involved that was seen that night on 310. Diane says not same taillights, not same rims. On the second car. It's possible. I just wanted to show that car because that car, is part of it. But the more important thing is I believe this could be the car. It's either this one or the second one. One of the three cars. If the two black ones are different, one of them they are concerned about is really the bigger picture here that they would like to know, because there is allegedly one of these cars followed the proud Katie back to the house or to somewhere between here and the house. But again, there's a lot more I still need to kind of research and stuff like that. Lisa Shelton, just put this up on the giant screen. Really, thank you so much for all you do. Really, thank you so much for all you do. Thank you, Lisa. God bless you. I appreciate the $10. Really helps this channel out. God bless you. Okay. So, real quick, let's, just because we got everybody here, if you guys, I really tried to run a couple of filters on this guy here, so let me know in chat what you guys think are on his letters, the letters on his shirt. I definitely see a U. Definitely kind of see a U right there. And almost like an N. So almost like a university of something. Let me go back to where somebody had mentioned that. If I can. Oh, it won't let me. Dang it. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find where you guys were mentioning. But real quick, before I finish up, here is this where I run a couple of filters. Yeah. So almost looks like a U, and then this looks like an N almost. Okay, that Hulk, that HUC is another guy standing off to the right that kind of comes out. That's not the same guy. I can show you that too. Yeah, that's not the same guy. I've got to try again. I got to try to see if I can run some more filters on this. See if I can clean it up. So that Hulk, the HUC guy, he actually comes out. Because I did see people mentioning this, and I'm like, no, it's not the same guy. Right there, right there. Okay, clearly they're still talking to... Actually, you know what? Let me do this. Oh, get out of my way. Let me show you guys something. Just because I'd seen this before, someone trying to debunk this, and I had to shake my head. Oh, 1 second. Okay. So, as you can see, there's green hoodie guy. And guess who's to the right of him? What's that say? Huck, or whatever. So anybody saying that these are the same people, they are not. I've seen this before. So just to debunk that for anybody that thinks this is like the same guy or whatever. Does anybody have a link to this video, please? Which video are you asking about, Summer? You don't need to work on this. Pick by enhancement. The restaurant camera will have that. Yeah, that's possible. But we don't know which angles they have and they don't. Again, we got to try, or, there's a reason why they are releasing this to the public. They want us to examine it, see if there's something that they missed. And so, that's like saying, well, let's just wait for the TBI to do their thing. But, it's been 10 months and, where's that gotten us? I think someone said Gallatin High School colors were green. Interesting. Anybody have any theories on what it said before we finish up? Let me see if I can. I'm going to try to play around with some stuff, but you can see somebody mentions a couple of things, but now I'm not seeing it. No, that can't be a woman, can it? Are you feeding me? Oh, 7 minutes ago, breaking news. Okay, more breaking news right here. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Oh, let's go. They've got all sorts of stuff. All right. Hit that like button, guys. We're not done. Let's zoom this in. Let's read it together. Get that popcorn. Again, thank you to everybody. Dog coming through. Okay. Dog the bounty hunter seeks public assistance across the United States in identifying green hoodie in relation to the interaction hours before the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Reward $250,000. Notice they changed that. Of course, they had the 225. Oh, so it actually went up. But America, Dwayne Dog Chapman, also known Dog the Bounty Hunter, is seeking your assistance. Us, the public, to look at this footage, examine it, dissect it, talk about it. This is why we're here. Dog the Bounty Hunter is releasing significant new findings regarding the individual referred to as Green Hoodie Guy and their actions the evening on February 15th. That 15-year-old Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers was last seen. Based on information gathered from interviews and witness accounts, it is highly likely that Sebastian is no longer in Tennessee. However, all indications suggest that he is alive. And again, I will probably have to do a members show and talk a little bit more about what they believe is going on. Dog sources have no knowledge. Dog sources have no knowledge of this woman before or after the unsettling account that transpired on that fateful night. Now, I think when they're talking about a woman, this relates to not the green hoodie. This relates to something else that I'll have to explain in a members live show. Key findings in the green hoodie's actions. Emergence and initial movement, 6:22 p.m. Sorry, I'm just trying to... So as you can see, this is 6:23. They are just leaving the restaurant. He's saying that there's a movement at 6:22. So this guy, if they're right, they're saying this guy is already out there doing something. Surveillance captures green hoodie emerging from the shrubbery or bushes near the parking lot, which I believe he is talking about this area right here. Sorry guys, there's a lot to go over, and I love to break things down, help you guys out. That is not the place we want. Now, where am I at? Sorry, guy. Oh, God. They don't have the picture of the Roadhouse. But anyway, I'm assuming either he came from this way or this way, because there's green shrubbery here and here. She is seen moving cautiously between Mrs. Proudfoot's parked vehicle and the adjacent car. Maybe it's a she. It looked like a he to me. Maybe it's a typo. The timing coincides with Miss Proudfoot and Sebastian standing up from their table inside the establishment and preparing to leave, which I just mentioned, that they're leaving about 6:23. At 6:23, Proudfoot and Sebastian exit the location, approach their vehicle in the parking lot. Outside, Green Hoodie initiates a brief hand-to-hand interaction with Miss Proudfoot near the car. The exchange appears deliberate but happens quickly, making the exact nature of the interaction unclear. Green Hoodie maintains a calm demeanor and does not appear hurried or agitated. Entry into the establishment at 6:25. So let's just look at 6:25. So as you can see, this is where they leave. So now Green Hoodie guy, see this is 6:25 and 02. Back it up just a tad. Green Hoodie guy is right there. Oh, you can't see it because I'm full screen. Shame on me. So Green Hoodie guy, let me back it up just a little bit. there you go. So there's green hoodie guy. And it's 6:24. 6:25. 6:24 in about 30 seconds. And so they say 6:25, so they just kind of round it up. Following the interaction, green hoodie enters the location with her head down. So I guess whoever, you're right. They're saying this is a female, making her face clearly visible. So this is interesting. So it's a female. She proceeds directly to the woman's restroom without engaging with anyone or making any purchases. Interesting. After a few minutes, green hoodie exits the restroom and leaves the building quickly. That is very interesting. I mean, I get it if you were just going to run in and go to the bathroom. Usually you have to buy something, but, some restaurants are, I guess it depends on the restaurant. But clearly they're waiting between the car, with Katie. That is if this is true, which dog is putting his name on all this, which, again, if this is all a fraud and this is all made up, with dog building a reputation, not to say it's like perfect, but I can't see him putting, being associated with this without this being verified. And I can tell you from my sources, they have multiple PIs who actually spoke to my source recently and explained a lot of this. So I've heard a good portion of this, not all of this, just tidbits of it. So very interesting. Continuing on, so she leaves, after going to the bathroom. Returning to the shrubbery and pickup. Upon exiting, green hoodie heads back outside and moves through the shrubbery again, avoiding additional surveillance cameras. 6:28. Do we have 6:28? No, we only get to about 6:25. That's a bummer. Green hoodie heads back outside, moves through the shrubbery again, avoiding additional cameras. Footage shows an unknown vehicle illuminating her path. At approximately 6:30, the exact details of her departure remain uncertain, whether she was picked up by someone else or had her vehicle concealed nearby, but she did leave the area at the time. Then it talks about the same stuff that we just mentioned. At approximately 6:30, green hoodie either enters this vehicle and is picked up, or she walks to a vehicle of her own, which may have been parked out of view in an adjacent parking lot nearby. The shopping center includes businesses and, yeah. It says, why this matters. The actions and timing of green hoodie are pivotal in comprehending the events preceding Sebastian's disappearance. Her presence, deliberate movements, and attempts to evade detection raise substantial concerns and necessitate her immediate identification as individuals familiar with the establishment informed dog. They have only observed her once on the fateful February evening and have not encountered her since. If you have any first-hand information about Green Hoodie's identity, whereabouts, or the vehicle used to transport her, we strongly encourage you to come forward. Even the smallest detail could be crucial in locating Sebastian and bringing him home. Gender, female. approximately 40 to 50, 5'7" to 5'5" to 5'7", light to medium brown hair or dirty brown hair. It's got a couple of different ones. Round face with this soft jawline. Olive green hoodie with large white or off-white text graphics across the chest, possibly stylized letters. The hoodie appears oversized. Indoor images. She adopts a slightly slouched posture and is seen holding or fidgeting with an item, keys, or a bag. Green hoodie moves deliberately into public space, avoids engaging with others, and exits quickly after visiting the women's restroom. Slightly hunched posture with shifting gaze, indicative of heightened awareness or discomfort. Standing in concealed or semi-hidden areas raises suspicion. True. Unmoving stance near vehicles and shrubbery indicates deliberate observation. If you saw or heard anything or possess any photos or video from that day, we urge you to come forward, even with the smallest detail. May hold the key to finding Sebastian and bringing him home. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's pictures I've never seen before. Hold on. Oh, they actually show a couple screenshots. Interesting. Nope, not this one. Where did I save that? 1 second. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, let me blow this up. Oh, wow. Yeah, that does look like a woman. And there they are going back into the shrubbery. Wow, this is nuts. What do you guys think? Oh, and there she is here clearly inside the establishment. Man, if these drawstrings weren't out from the hoodie, it'd be easier to tell what these letters are. Someone said United States Marine Corps. Because that is a U. Do you think is that United States Marine Corps? Yeah. Yeah, short hair. Um... white font. What do you guys think? USN? Yeah, the short hair Marine, that fits, yeah. I mean, there's so many. Obviously, there's so many designs now with, you can make your own. Uh, Really interesting. Wow. I wonder if they're going to release the footage from that. Again, I was told when Katie and Steve Fisher found out that they were getting the footage, they went there. Again, I'm just going to say allegedly, but from what I heard, they made a scene, especially Katie, which to me, if you're innocent, you had nothing to do with it, I would think, like you guys would be working together. USA Navy. Oh, USA Navy. USA Navy. And I'll get to chat one last time. I know there's some donations. USA Navy green hoodie with white font. Let's say US Navy. I wonder what kind of Tennessee teams are out there, maybe. I don't know. This is clearly, yeah. I mean, they're backing up what they're saying. I mean, this chick is literally coming out. Let's see. There's this white car. White car. But there is no white car here. There could have been a white car. There's no car sitting there. That's definitely the same vehicle here, but this car's not here. But there's a car that's parked possibly here. And then we move over and there's a dark car. Which that would look dark. I mean, it's kind of purple, maroon, God, it's tough to say. It kind of looks red, marooned, but the hood's dark. Actually, this almost looks like a car that's actually going this way. Actually. Man. I think we're going to... So my source said that there was something going down and maybe some new footage coming out. So, again, in my opinion, you got to look at every lead, Their surveillance has helped solve so many crimes. Obviously, going back to CEO assassination, Let me get to chat here. Zoo Blues, thank you so much. Gifting a Mob Crew membership. God bless you. Appreciate the support. Lisa Shelton, becoming a member and supporting the show. God bless you, Lisa. Said Zoo Blues gifted another Mob Crew membership. Sometimes it doubles, so I'm not sure if you did one or two, but God bless you either way. It's tough to read because it's at the bottom. It looks like Feral Heart. I'll just say Heart. Maybe Hoodie says University of Tennessee. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, maybe like abbreviated version of it. Maybe University 10 or, you know, certainly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Some kind of local, you know, um, but yeah, that is a woman. I apologize. I thought that was a man, but yeah, you were right. I'm sorry for the one that I may have doubted. Jojo says, Mob Crew, there's a white car on the front row parking about 4 cars down. Are you talking about the footage? Oh, you're talking about this one here. Yeah, I don't know much about that car. That one right there. You're talking about this one here. Then, Dina says, Chris, what happened when Katie went to the Roadhouse? Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. Mink, could that be allegedly, and in my opinion, Terry Bauer socks with a bad wig? I don't think so, because it's a short one, you know, but who knows? This case is so bizarre. Who knows? You know, at this point, nothing would surprise me. But we will do another live tomorrow. I've got so much more information to go over. I need to talk to my source again, because there's more behind the scenes that's been going on, especially about some sightings, and the reason why they believe he's alive. So we'll go over that. Good to see you, Michael Kimmy. I'm doing a reverse image search. God bless you. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great way to do it as well. Thank you so much, Mama Mo. Thank you so much, Rocky. Alicia, I think you got work to do on these pics left out. Yeah, I do. I definitely do. As you guys know, for those that have been with me with Sebastian Rogers, I am a very tenacious person, and I will break down every aspect of that footage, surveillance footage. You know, of course, I can miss stuff. You know, I'm not perfect, but you know, I'm one of those tenacious people where I have to break every single aspect that I can down. So, but that's really exciting, you know, that they are upping the reward, and they are just continuing to put pressure on, you know, the family, and to get Sebastian Rogers or the people that are responsible. Maybe the family's not involved. Again, I don't know, but I will say there are some funny stuff going on. Let It Be says, thank you for all you do, Chris. Prayers for Sebastian. God bless you. Sweet. Anyway, again, if by chance, if anybody donated Venmo or PayPal, thank you. Sometimes I just don't get it right away, but God bless you guys for the support. It really does help. Right now it's winter time, but once we get back out into the fall or spring, summer, and fall, we go out and actually search for missing people. And so this does help, you know, with the support. So with that, if you are new members and you would like to have your pictures of your pet featured, please email me. Only members can do that. Sensei being a member, Susan, member now for 28 months. Chris Type in Navy got the sweatshirt. type in. Oops. Whoa, it's going so fast. Navy green sweatshirt? Is that sweatshirt? Yeah, the only thing is there's got to be something below it. Like, it's got to be like U.S. Navy or something. I'm sure one of you guys will figure it out. Yeah, anyway, that's something I'll have to do on my off time, but thank you, Susan. Member for 28 months. You are a legend. Now everybody's giving me all these different things. I'll have to look at it, and then when I go live tomorrow, I'll definitely, if we figured it out, we'll feature it. Thank you, K-Mac. I'll probably hopefully do it this weekend, Paula. Sometimes people give mob crew memberships, or if you can, I think it's just a couple dollars. I have multiple levels, so that way if you just want to join for a couple dollars, ain't no big thing. Rocky, my friend's daughter was trying. Oregon Anastasia Galik. I'm not sure what you mean, Rocky K9. I'm sorry. I get the Anastasia Galik, but I don't know if that's referring to the other case. But thank you so much for the $2. God bless you. Anyway, thank you for D, Jocelyn, Sensei. God bless you guys. Jennifer coming in, especially when we have thousands of people in here. Oh, I missed Sandra. I'm looking forward to Chris' ongoing analysis. Thank you, Sandra. You guys are amazing. Such an amazing community, and we will be back tomorrow. With that, we're going to do an outro, and we will... Hopefully there'll be some good news eventually, and I'll talk to my source and see what they say. Simply Solo, thank you so much for the membership. With that, we're going to play the outro. Hope you guys have the rest of a wonderful Thursday or Friday, wherever you're at. If you're into the holidays, happy holidays. And with that, be safe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Love you guys. You guys are amazing.